What is the Tampa Bay real estate market doing right now in April of 2024 and going into May? Let's take a look. Hi, I'm Kaitlyn. I'm a real estate agent right here in the Tampa Bay area and a native. I specialize in helping you and your fur babies find the home and yards of their dreams. I love sitting down and taking a look at what the statistics are each month here in the Tampa Bay real estate market. Now, I take a look at all from our MLS plus the more specific stuff here in Hillsborough County in the Tampa Bay area. So sit down and let's take a look at what's going on right now in the spring of 2024. Okay, so let's get started. Here are April 2024 statistics. Now, as we see across the board, arrows are looking up on both sides, both the month by month and the year by year, which is a great sign, at least on the top row. Now on the bottom row, we do see one little down arrow, which actually is good as well. But again, we will get to this. So let's go ahead and get started. So for active listings, we are up 4% from March at 61,220. Now, again, these statistics are for it's 20 something counties that our MLS covers, stellar MLS here in most of Central Florida, kind of from Naples up towards Ocala in that area. Doesn't include like Miami and down that way. And it doesn't include the Panhandle and some of those areas up in North Florida. So again, we're up about 4%. We're up 55% from last year in active listings, which is good for a buyer. There's more homes to choose from. It's a little not as great for a seller because, again, you've got more competition and everything, but it does show that there's activity going and all of that. Now, if we move on to new listings, again, we're up 4% from March. Here in April at 23,000, again, new listings, and we're up 23% from April of last year, which again looks good. Now, if we go next to pending sales, we are up 1%, which is not a huge jump or anything, just kind of showing for the spring market, we're at almost exactly the same amount as we had in April of last year, which is good. Nothing's changing. There's no downturn, but nothing going on too crazy or anything like that. Next, we have listings sold here. So we're up 6% from March, and we're up 3% of April of last year, which again is good. Things seem to be stabilizing a little bit, nothing extreme going on or anything like that. It seems to be that we are kind of settling into our new normal, as many people have said over the last couple of years is new normal and everything. Kind of hate that phrase, but in the real estate market, that's kind of what it's looking like right now, is this is our new normal. Now, if you do remember, before 2020, essentially, we were in very similar kinds of circumstances. Things were sitting on the market a little bit longer. Things weren't flying off the shelves like they were in 2020, 2021, and 2022. So again, may not actually be, I guess you'd say, a new normal, maybe more of a going back to what it was before. Obviously, there are so many other factors to look at and everything, but just know that nothing extreme is going on anymore, really, at this point in time. So if we go to the next row, we see ADOM, which stands for Average Days on Market. Now, again, this is for a lot of the state of Florida, not just here in Hillsborough County and the Tampa Bay area. So take this as a little more general of a thing. We will look at the more specifics in a minute. But ADOM means average days on market, and our ADOM for April was 54, which seems like kind of a long time, but it is down about 5% from March or from that last. It is down about 5% from last month in March. Now it is up 17% from April of last year, at the 54 versus 46 that we had in April of last year, which is a little bit of a jump for sure. Now, our total sales volume for April of 24 is 7.9 billion. Again, this is a large majority of the state of Florida. We are up 7% from March and 9% from April of last year, which is good on some ends, not as good on other ends. So just take it kind of with a grain of salt. So next we have our average sales price, which for April of 24 was $477,100. Again, this is in a lot of the state of Florida. It's actually up 1% from March and up 5% from April of last year, which again is good. We're not going crazy up. We're just kind of staying pretty level. So next one we have here is our average sales price, which is $477,100, which is up 1% from March and only up 5% from April of last year, which again kind of keeps us at that just a little bit of increasing plateau, but we're not going up crazy or down or anything like that. So again, things seem to be stabilizing a little bit. Last we have here is our months of inventory, which is 3.7 for April of 24, which was exactly the same as it was in March, and a little bit more than we had in April of last year. That means basically for how many homes are on the market, there's this many buyers or whatever. If no new homes came on the market, all of the buyers in the buyer pool currently, that's how long it would take for all of those homes to be sold. Now, obviously, the world doesn't really work like that and everything, and there's always new homes going on the market. So you don't really see that in practice, but it kind of shows you kind of usually in a very general way if it's a seller's market or a buyer's market, in which way it's kind of leaning when it comes to the market. So it's interesting to at least see the number and everything. I do try to kind of talk about these numbers more so than just showing you the statistic and you wondering what the heck this all means and everything. So that's why I'm here. We're going to move along to our more specific stats for Hillsborough County. So here we have that we have our time frame from June 2023 to May 2024. What I usually do here is I always pick the previous 12 months so we can kind of see the pattern within the last year on everything. So you see here we're in Florida, Hillsborough County. We are in only residential homes, so we're not looking at land listings, we're not looking at rentals, we're not looking at commercial properties, we're just looking at home sales. But we're not just looking at single family homes, we are looking at condos, townhomes, all of that comes into the residential portion of our MLS. So just so you have that knowledge of what we're looking at and where these stats come from. So as you see, we've got our median days to sell and we have our median sale price here. So we've kind of gone up and around about 400, just under 400,000, kind of back and forth and everything. We had the lowest there at the 380, but it's kind of stuck around that 390, 395 and up, to 400. Like we've got that 402 back in December. And those, always can fluctuate a little bit, but as you can see, we're kind of staying within about 10 to 20,000 when it comes to this median sales price and everything, which keeps things, right at a plateau, kind of stable and everything. Now our days to sell are kind of going up. They were, in the summer of last year, they were taking only about 2 weeks. Again, this is here in Hillsborough County, the Tampa area. And then it kind of slowly crept up, a whole month to sell. And then we went up to 38 in actually February, which, was kind of a tough month for a lot of people. And then it kind of went down a little bit more. Now just look at the May statistics. It's interesting to see so far what it's looking like, but do take it with a grain of salt because we are in the middle of May and things are likely to change and might vary greatly from now to what we see when everything's been put in, because agents do have about 3 days from the time of closing to put everything in. So something that closed, say, on May 31st, actually doesn't always show up until June 3rd. Now, our statistics do take a little bit longer for them to compile them and put together that beautiful graph for us. So we do see things a little later. And that's why you do see me not posting this video until halfway through the next month. It's just so that I have that pretty graph to show you. And we try to make sure as much of the details and statistics are in there so we can pull them and have accurate information. Now, as always, I would love to talk with you about what this all means for you, whether you're buying or selling, investing, whatever the case may be. I would love to sit down and have a chat with you. And even if you're thinking a year or two from now, I would love to sit down and chat and maybe just put a plan in place about what is going to look like. That can always change, obviously, because the market is an ever-changing thing, but I would love to sit down and have a chat with you about what all this means for you and your situation. Thanks so much for watching. Make sure to subscribe to this channel for everything Tampa for you and your fur babies. And if you want to see all the patterns going on in the market right now, check out this playlist of all my previous market reports.